If you are, there's Casper right there. There's Casper. I got some coffee. We're getting ready. Remember that I cannot see you now on the screen because we're going live on YouTube at the same time. So make sure to, hi Casper. Make sure you comment on Facebook Live if you're watching on Facebook. There we go. So let me know that you're there and that you can hear me okay. All righty. I think we are broadcasting. We were broadcasting. There we go. What's going on? Can you see me, everybody? Hello, Coffee with Casper Land. All right, we got somebody there. Video a few seconds ago. All right, welcome from Hawaii. Good morning, good morning. Aloha. All right, nice to see you all this morning. We got another minute to go. We'll get ready to go with Coffee with Casper. We'll ring the gong, as it were. Nice to see you all this morning. I just don't know why I'm not seeing me on Facebook. Here we go. All righty, here we go. It has begun. There we go. There are. Loretta, good morning. Good morning. No, good morning from Idaho, my former Oregonians. All right. Nice to see you this morning. Good morning from North Carolina. Nice to see you this morning from North Carolina. Good deal. Now I can see you coming in. Good, good, good. Good morning. Well, we got one more week with Coffee with Casper. We're going to do, next week we'll go live, and then we'll take 1 week off. And then we'll be back after the new year. But we will be here next Tuesday live with Good Morning, Lisa. You got your coffee. I got my coffee. Here we go. We're going in. 8:30. Here goes the bell. Everybody, let's take a nice deep breath in. Let that breath go into your heart center, rise up into your heart center. And now give your body complete permission to relax. We're just going to hang out for 20 minutes and take a look at our world and where we are in your world in consciousness, and know that where we are in our world in consciousness is how we're going to help the outer world, the race world, and all of the things going on. So today I wanted to share, I've shared with you in the past about my journey to see the Dalai Lama in India back in 1999. And the lesson that was revealed through the Dalai Lama, and of course in my own personal pilgrimage experience there, that's quite the journey. Anyway, in my own personal experience, I took this lesson that the Dalai Lama had offered, which is a Buddhist concept that human beings are capable of infinite compassion. Infinite compassion. And when I was there in India, surrounded by the tremendous amount of visual poverty, it's visual poverty because there is a middle class in India, and that's about, I believe, of 1 billion people, it's 250 million people or so, but there's 1 billion people in that little country. So everything is very close together, and there's the distance between middle class and wealth and poverty is a few feet, no matter where you're going. I mean, even outside these gorgeous estates and beautiful hotels, just outside the driveway is another whole story. And that's way everywhere it is all around India. And so the lesson was in infinite compassion. And as I was in that journey and understanding that experience in a deeper way, what I really began to understand is what that means is that each one of us is capable of caring. And even though sometimes stretching ourselves to care, it's easier to close our eyes and not see. But when we open our eyes, we can find that we can extend our caring from the heart out. Like for right now in the world in the pandemic, certainly with the numbers being reported in the newspaper of deaths coming from the COVID, and it's all over the place, we can certainly extend our infinite compassion to all of the souls who are struggling through this. On the other hand, we have billions and billions of people who are finding their way through this. And on the other hand, we have many people frightened to death about the circumstances in their lives, everything from money to food, and that's scary. And here in the United States, we have come through an election, and coming through the election and through all the processes involved, we have millions of people who feel disheartened and that they lost. And we have millions of people who feel encouraged that they won. And here's where we've been talking about civility and compassion, because we're all in this together. Everybody's in this together. And it doesn't matter what color of your skin or your heritage or how you're picking up the ball. We're all in this together. And it doesn't matter whether you see yourself as a liberal or a Democrat or a Republican or a conservative. It doesn't matter how you're looking out at politics. The whole reality is we're in this together. And just like here in this country, we have a great deal of joy. And I know it's around the world with soccer and what you guys call around the world soccer, football rather, we call it soccer. And here in our country with American football, we have a lot of competition. And so in sports, what you find is that somebody wins and somebody loses. And somebody wins the game and somebody gets to play the game again with an opportunity to win. And that's really how it goes. And so here we are approaching the winter solstice, and this year it's got some Jupiter and Mars, I believe, are aligning up in the sky on the 21st. That's the day of the solstice, the darkest day of the year, and we go from dark gradually coming back into light. And then, of course, we're in the season of Hanukkah, the season of Christmas, the season of the solstice, behind that, the season of Kwanzaa. And all of these separate celebrations are all about honoring the light. They're all about this longer relay race that we're all in. The relay race for a better humanity, for a kindness to the earth itself, which is always being kind to us by producing so much bounty for us to live on. And so we're in a place now where I wanted to talk about this relay race in which everybody belongs. You know, and in a relay race, you're running and you have your stretch there. You're holding the baton, and then hopefully without losing pace, you hand off the baton as the other person is running, and you hand them the baton. And the person whom you're handing the baton to is reaching behind them to take the baton, yes, and keep going. And sometimes you may not know in the game of life, and so here's the relay race that humanity's involved in. And we'll use the season to talk about it. The relay race that humanity is involved in is peace on earth and goodwill to all humankind. Peace on earth means that you're honoring the earth, that you're celebrating the fact that we can harmonize with our own planet. We can begin to work with her to help create this great bounty and to not do damage to our atmosphere and to our air and to our water. Even today with all the masks, now we have a whole new problem with way too many recycled materials coming out and too many masks being thrown into the rivers and into the oceans. And so we're going to have to keep working on this healing. And sometimes the person behind you may have been red and you weren't expecting to get the baton from somebody red, or you weren't expecting to get the baton from somebody blue, or you weren't expecting to get the baton from somebody from a different continent, from a different culture, from a different color. And it doesn't matter, because we're all in this race together, and we all must hand the baton forward as we go forward. And how many of us who are who have had the good fortune to have children and then grandchildren understand very deeply we're trying to leave a world that works for our children and grandchildren as much as we have been able to enjoy the fruits of a lifetime. And every lifetime has its joys and sorrows, but the intention of life is that we awaken to our magnificence. We awaken to this I am consciousness that's born in the image and likeness of the One. We awaken to the reality that we've already been given everything that we need to succeed, to have health, wealth, success, and happiness. And that those rights, which here in this country the Constitution stands for, and the Declaration of Independence stands for, and the Pledge of Allegiance stands for, is all about us working together toward the same goal: peace on earth and goodwill toward all humanity. Now that would be liberty and justice for all, the possibility of renewal, the possibility of being born anew, meaning allowing today to be a brand new day in which I can let go of the past and create into the future based on my intentions. My intentions hopefully are lining up to bring more love, more light, more joy, more wisdom, more peace, more freedom, more harmony, more music, more creativity into the world, that we begin, each one of us, to bring these eternal verities, these qualities, the varieties of the eternal One, which live in each one of us, for each one is created in the image and likeness of the One at the level of this I am consciousness. And this energy that is the Creator, the intelligence that is source to all life, has no favorites. It has given itself entirely to each and to all. And now, depending on what culture you're in, and depending on what traditions you were raised in, depending on what biases you may have been subjected to, all of those things need to be harmonized with peace on earth and goodwill toward all human beings. And therefore the rights that we would seek for ourselves are the rights that we would seek for everybody else. And if your side won, then you're feeling a sense of relief. If your side didn't win, then you're feeling a sense of tension over those things. And the last thing that we need to do, since we're all in this together, is point out that somebody won and somebody lost. In any game, in any moving forward, in any election, in any discerning of the will of the people, there's going to be some think that they won, and some think that they lost, and some think that they didn't win, and some think that they lost. And the last thing we want to do is be braggadocious about who won and who lost, or claim some childish attitude about a victory, when the victory is that these universal concepts that belong to all people, that the United States, not by itself, there are many other great documents and great, the Magna Carta was the beginning of rights and justice for people. I mean, it doesn't belong to any one nation, these things, but these universal ideas and the chalice in which we're holding them is not just the chalice, it's the way that we treat each other around the chalice. Life, liberty, equal justice for all, the right to pursue happiness, the opportunity to have a life fulfilled, the opportunity to be renewed, the opportunity to change your mind and therefore change your experience. These are universal ideas, and they belong to everyone. We go back to great William James, the great American psychologist, who says the greatest discovery of this generation or any generation is that human beings can change their experience by changing their attitude of mind. And here in the last couple of weeks on Coffee with Casper, we've been talking about the importance of kindness and the importance of, no matter where we are, here the sticks have fallen, and now it's time to collect the sticks and be able to use them to harness energy to move forward for all people and for all nations. By beginning with civility, and then coming into an affability, and then coming into a kindness. And that kindness is the way that we are displaying unconditional love in the world. And you and I have a right. Good morning from Arizona. Good morning from Hollywood. Good morning from Las Vegas and Virginia Beach. Nice to see you all this morning. Thanks for checking in. So here's the deal. No matter where we are in this thing, being kind to one another, being courteous to one another, seeing through the differences into the sameness, this is what ours is to do as light workers in the world. To keep carrying forth the light of kindness, the light of understanding, the light of compassion, and knowing that we're all in this human race together to bring humanity to this place where we're experiencing the very simple idea of peace on earth. That would mean harmony with the earth and goodwill toward all other living souls who are born in the image and likeness of the One. And the more we bring that energy forward into our lives and into our personal experience, and the more we work with everybody else from wherever they're handing us the baton. It doesn't matter from which culture, it doesn't matter from which color, it doesn't matter from which continent. If we're working together as a humanity, we're working to reveal this harmony, which is the underlying principle of the universe itself, of energy itself. Energy is eternal. It does not change. It changes form. And so we know that this primary energy in the universe is complete intelligence. And it must be in harmony with itself, so it cannot be destroyed. And we then take this energy, which is source energy, the life force within us, and we make decisions, either positive or negative, either harmoniously or disharmoniously. And those decisions will come out in our lives, in our personal lives. You think you're making a decision yelling at the television set and outcomes that you didn't care for. Well, yelling at the television set is yelling at the race. It's yelling at circumstance. It's yelling at the weather. That's not working with the weather. If it's cold, you need to adjust your clothing. If it's hot, you need to adjust your clothing. We are the ones, each one of us, who is responsible for the energy that we're putting out into the world. And what we believe is that if I'm privately enraged, that's not noticed. However, the law of life, this direct connection, I believe in the direct connection of each and every soul to the One, to the law of the universe, to the law of the circle. Whatever I think about comes about. Where my attention goes, my energy flows. Thoughts become things. Attitude create experience. We begin to see all of these are the same thing. And the peace that we're seeking is a peace that is born from the center of our heart, from the center of the life force within us. And as we begin to bring our attention to that heart center, and to the way that we would like our children and grandchildren to interact in the world, then we are called then to be an instrument of that kind of harmony, of that kind of peace, of that kind of gentleness, of that kind of centeredness. Yes? And that requires that we wake up, as I have said for many years and will continue to say, and do not get out of bed before you can greet the day. And people say, well, what about bodily functions? If you have a bad attitude, go take care of your bodily functions and then get back into bed and adjust your attitude so that you can wake up knowing this is the day the law of life has brought forth. This is the day the law of the circle is responding to me as I am responding to it. This is the day where I can look with hope and move from the beginning of hope, which is the dawning of light, into a deeper commitment into faith, and then finally into a knowing. And when that knowing is in our consciousness, we watch the law of life return to us the graciousness that we're bringing to life. Good and more good is mine. There's no limit to the good that is mine. Everywhere I go, I see this good. I feel this good. It crowds itself against me. It flows through me and multiplies itself around me. We are the light workers of the world. You and me and all the people who will ever see Coffee with Casper have the capacity to bring your unique light into the world, to shine it brightly for all humanity, for the earth. And now, as we move from this season of darkness into more and more light, it's not going to change on January 1st. It will change according to the consciousness of humanity as we begin to have hope and faith that we can together dissolve this disease into the COVID into the nothingness from which it came, and through the experience come out with a deeper sense of compassion, a deeper sense of being connected to everybody else in the human condition, a deeper sense of comfort that we're being guided, guarded, protected, and directed, that according to the law of my own consciousness, this white light is surrounding me, guiding me, guarding me, protecting me, moving through me, and shining that healing light on others. So not only am I walking in the light, I'm walking in divine protection, I'm knowing that divine protection, and I'm extending that divine protection. Again, working with the laws of electricity. I don't put the hairdryer in the bathtub with me, right? So whatever the physical requirements are, let's play by the understanding that we have, knowing the understanding will increase, and we'll keep adjusting our behavior until we rise up into a new kind of normal, into a new kind of acceptance of radiant health, of wholeness, of abundance, of dressing up and showing up and doing what is ours to do, what the Buddhists call chop wood, carry water. We all have ours to do, and we can do it with joy. You can do the dishes with joy, you can prepare meals with joy, you can be thankful for the bounty that you're able to get at the market or delivered, however you're getting it, and you can be grateful that those places where you have touched in love are still there, and soon we'll be able to reach out and kinetically share in this joint human experience in wonderful things like theaters and the movies and sports events and rock concerts and all the things that we now have come to appreciate at a whole new level. But it's going to happen because you and I have cooperated at a whole new level with this divinity within. So here's the work this week. Don't get out of bed until you can be grateful for this day and all the things that you can bring into it. You are bringing light into the world. You're paying attention, and being here is an indicator that things are beginning to move into the light. We're moving toward the solstice, and from the solstice into greater and greater light and greater goodwill to humanity and the earth. Thank you for being here. Share this video wherever you want. Go to newthought.com so you get any other mails I'm sending out. Just share it, that it does some good. We will be here next week. We'll see you next week on Coffee with Casper. And until we meet again, we invite you to go in the light, as the light, and with the light. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way.